No, I have one major problem, and that is
Like for me, okay. So my favorite game still on the 64 is probably between the
and over the last like 5 to 10 years, they've been getting squeezed, kind of doing the same thing that like Bain Capital did back in the day, where they get bought out by a company, and the company's like, all right, we took out loans to buy you. How are you going to pay us back?
was the company Wayne Enterprises?
No.
What's going on, everybody? This is the Pensive Brothers Podcast. This is Aaron.
And I'm Elliot.
Hope everybody out there is having a fantastical day today.
Fantastical.
Yes.
All right. So I gotta get something off my chest.
All right, let's hear it.
I think I have a problem.
Just one?
Shut up, first of all. Okay. That's totally rooted on call for. No, you're probably right. No, I have one major problem, and that is I really like to play games on hard mode first time through.
Pause.
I don't even know how that's a pause-worthy statement.
You like to do what?
Play games, video games, on hard mode.
You don't think you could just finish before you get started with the game?
What is wrong with you? YouTube is gonna demonetize this video. That's what's gonna happen.
Oh, jeez. Demonetize.
No, I'm just saying. No, seriously. Like, okay, so I played Kingdom Hearts. Now, to be fair to me, I played through Kingdom Hearts on regular mode multiple times. So, like, I know how the game goes.
The regular one? Or which one are we talking?
I'm talking about 2 because I think that's the best one that's ever been released. Kingdom Hearts 2.5 specifically.
Let's talk about Kingdom Hearts for a second, and then we'll get back to what you're saying.
Okay.
Why did they make it so complicated? Why did they make the title so complicated? Why are there so many games? Why?
Okay, there's a short answer and there's a long answer.
It just seems like Kingdom Hearts, they lost me after the first one.
There's a short answer and there's a long answer. The short answer is because it's a Japanese JRPG, and that's what they do. The long answer is there is a combination of Square Enix and Disney, and they're trying to balance out like how you attract an American audience to a new JRPG that has no like player base, or at least when the first one came out, and like your traditional I love Final Fantasy people. So what they did was they took all the Final Fantasy, or not all of them, but they took a bunch of Final Fantasy characters and a bunch of Disney characters, and they kind of put them in a game together so that you could bring these two markets of video game or like property enthusiasts. Yeah, these medias together to get both enthusiasm, from both camps.
Okay,
and
so
it actually ended up being really good.
Details here. Kingdom Hearts, for those who don't know, is this really cool game where you have basically characters that run through the different Disney movies as different worlds.
Yeah, they're like universes.
To fight it.
It's a really cool game.
It's a really nice game. It's actually very fun.
First one is good,
in my opinion.
Yeah, first one is good. The second one is better. To me, the second one is the best. And that third one, so disappointing. I waited for so many years, and what I got just made me really salty.
Or the different Disney movies, did they continue to expand, or was it still the same couple?
No, they expanded every single game. So in the first game, I think it's Alice in Wonderland, it's Tarzan,
Lion King.
So Lion King isn't a world in the first one. You just get Simba as like a summon. But it's implied that it's a world.
But and in the second one, you get to play in Hercules.
Hercules
Little
is one.
Little Mermaid was fun.
Little Mermaid was one.
And then the Halloween movie thing.
Halloween I think was on it was definitely in the first one.
Yeah,
you're right. So Halloween Town is in there, and I think there's one or two more. Aladdin.
Yeah,
Aladdin is the other one. And then in the second one you get a bunch more because you get like Pirates of the Caribbean in the second
Beauty
one.
and the Beast I think is in the first game.
It's in both.
Okay.
So and then the only thing they really add in the second one, I think, is like special, is like now you get even more of the Final Fantasy characters. You get Radiant Garden and some other stuff, like some callbacks to Final Fantasy stuff.
Peter Pan was in the first one.
Peter Pan. They actually let you go to the Peter Pan world in the third game, which is cool. But
in the first one, you have the little Peter Pan planet, though.
You do.
No, you're actually basically in Great Britain. Remember Big Ben? And you're like,
and you're just at Big Ben. You don't actually get to like explore anything else. Well, I think in the third one you get to explore like Big Ben, and then there's another place that you also go. But you're right, like it's very limited. But anyway, I really like Kingdom Hearts. I think it's one of the better games, the first two especially, that have been released in our time, because it doesn't do any of the cringy stuff that a lot of video games are doing now. There's no loot boxes, there's no pay to play, there's no skins, there's very like
where you got to keep doing the same thing in different places, like in the Spider-Man game. That was the one main criticism.
Well, so
even though I personally liked it.
All right, so this is where my problem comes in. Okay, so you don't have to do that if you're playing on regular mode.
Yeah, but
as soon as you put it on hard mode, it's a grind. And so I'm playing this game and I'm like, I hate this game. And I'm just, okay, so I'm saying the words, I hate this. I don't want to have to grind this. I don't want to have to be so good.
Ellie, come on, man.
Okay, but then
put it on hard mode and you have to grind on it?
It's technically called proud mode, but yes, you literally, okay, so the problem is if you want to complete it at 100% like I do.
Go ahead.
If you want to beat it at 100% like I do, you want to get the ultimate weapon, you want to get all of the different, like, you know, items made, blah, 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 blah. Then some of these things that you have to do, like you have to beat the Mushroom 13 and blah, blah, blah. And like you have to do it perfectly, which means one of them is he's shooting you and you have to block them all and knock them back at him. And you literally have to block every single one perfectly. And it's like 100 shots that you have to knock back.
Yeah.
Okay, there's another one where you got to kill like 100 of these dudes who are all trying to tackle you all at the same time. So you got to hit them and you can't get hit. And it's like 100. There's another one where you got to do it in like less than 40. Like so you just have all of these like mini games that you have to do perfectly. Whereas in the normal mode, you just have to do them mostly perfectly. So
and I just beat it.
Yeah. So
it reminds me of, remember Macbeth in Star Fox 64, the train level where you had to shoot those things,
bro,
in order to actually defeat the train, not to just beat the little thing that was flying.
Yeah, you gotta shoot the things on the side, and if you miss one, you're going to the SeaWorld.
Yeah,
that's where you're going.
And remember, we always missed one until that one time. You remember the one time we went to the other side of the map?
We were so hyped, bro. We were so excited. I was I did it!
How long did it take us to get to Sector Z?
Bro, it had to be like a year we had that game.
No, it was longer than that.
It was so long, bro.
It was like a couple of years.
You think it was a couple?
I think it was at least 2 years. We played that game every day. We played that game mostly.
We did play that, well, because what other games did we have? We had like
we had Revenge.
We had WCW NWO Revenge.
Lil Tony had Tony Hawk's.
Lil Tony had Tony Hawk. We didn't have that.
We had I had both.
I think I got Legend of Zelda event. No, I borrowed Legend of Zelda from like a friend or something, and then I had to give it back.
I think we got trouble.
We literally did. We got in major trouble. We were like, where do you get that game from?
Yeah,
I didn't buy you that game, and we got in trouble. Like, don't be borrowing that from nobody
Zelda
else.
Used to scare me when we were kids, man.
What?
Remember? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Because remember at night those things will come up behind you.
Yes. In the graveyards and stuff.
It didn't scare me on some nightmares. It scared me like I didn't know how to stop them from chasing me.
So you were just like, "Oh God, I'm gonna die! I'm gonna die! I'm gonna die!"
I don't even want to play it.
Yeah,
and you were just come up behind me.
And you literally was like, "I don't want to play. I just want to watch you play."
And then there was also a way, like at night, that remember you were like in a forest.
Yeah.
When those things were chasing you.
Yeah.
And like you could, or like a desert or something. Like you could not go over there. Like you would just go back.
Yes.
That's what I used to do.
Like you would get chased by the spinny thing all the way through like the field or the prairie or whatever.
Yeah, but you don't have to go that way where those things were in the ground. And so anytime it was that time of the game, I would just turn around and go back.
Listen.
And I'm like, well, I guess whatever's over there, I'm not going to beat it today.
The best thing was when you learned the spell on the ocarina to make it daytime. So I would just play daytime music every time.
Yeah.
So, but
good times, man.
N64 games were like lit, bro.
You gotta remember, man. That's another one. Like N64 changed the game.
It did.
Like because I think Sega Genesis and Sega Saturn and Dreamcast and like the older games, they were cool.
Well, Saturn and Dreamcast were like N64 adjacent. Like they were around the same. They were in the same.
Might actually been newer, to be honest.
What is
Dreamcast might have been newer because I think
Dreamcast was newer.
Discs.
Matter of fact, I think the Dreamcast and the Saturn both came out after the N64 because they both had discs. Saturn had discs. Knights, yup. Sega Saturn was a disc-based system, and I only remember.
Well, yeah, Knights. I found out at Old School like a couple months ago because I basically, I'm building my video game collection.
Yes, I know.
And so I went into Old School asking them. Yeah, I am actually. All the games we had as kids, I have all of them.
Yeah,
every single one.
I've noticed.
Yeah, and then Jacob gave me some of his. So like, I have Hydro Thunder and some of the ones
not Hydro
at Grandma's house.
Hydro Thunder.
Yeah. But like, they were like, "Oh no, Knights wasn't on," because I thought. We used to play Knights because Shauna used to play Knights, if you remember.
I do.
But I always thought that we were playing it on Frankie's Dreamcast.
Nope.
No.
Sega Saturn.
Somebody had a Sega Saturn. And maybe it was Alonzo. Maybe it was Shauna. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it was Alonzo because Alonzo had a bunch of video games.
So yeah, because Alonzo had all this everything.
He did because he had. Do you remember that
before we got the Xbox?
He did, and you remember there was a Nintendo. I can't think of what it's called off top right now, but it was an overhead set, and you put it on. It was red and black, and then you would look into it and you would see like red and black lines. It was not very popular.
I do remember
it,
that.
It like didn't go anywhere, but Alonzo had one.
No, I do remember that,
and
I
it was
think
expensive
we played
too.
that at someone else's house. Like you would look into it, and you could like see the game.
Yes, and it was like red lines everywhere, but you could like see the game and play it. But there were like 3 games for it. It was garbage. It was trash.
But at the time, was it garbage? No. At the time,
it was cool.
Like, oh my gosh, look what you got!
It was the first
got
Oculus,
red and green lines,
right? It was the first Oculus Rift, back before Oculus was cool.
But like, I know, like for me, okay, so my favorite game still on the 64 is probably between the Super Smash Brothers and I don't know. I feel like Tony Hawk's. I feel like they improved it so much when it got to PS2.
Yeah, because Underground was the best Tony Hawk's game.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Underground 2 was awesome too.
I mean, okay, what I should say is the Underground series, all of those games were the best of Tony Hawk's. The only thing I will say is I recently played the re-release of Tony Hawk's 1 and 2, and it's actually really good.
You told me about that. I need to get that.
You should, because it gives you the whole campaign from Tony Hawk's 1 and 2, but it gives you...
you remember how good it was to play like Tony Hawk's 3 and 4?
Yes.
Like, after they got better.
Yes, because it gives you the manuals. It gives you like all of the different combos that you can do.
Different grinds.
Yes, because they didn't have grinds. They didn't have none of that.
Many.
You couldn't switch your grinds in the first game.
Well, I think you had like 2 or 3 options.
No, it was like 4 options. Because you had up, down, left, right, triangle, or not triangle, but we were on C button. So you had if you hit up and the C button at the top, you could
you could do a different one. But the thing was, like, you could tell, similar to like Madden's, like they were trying to make it better because like sometimes I think about the older football games and I think like, okay, you had certain years that were just better.
Yeah.
Madden 03, very good year. Madden 07 was a very good year. I have that one.
And there was like a leap from like the previous years because you have like kind of the same game getting released every year. Yeah. And then 07 will come out and you'd be like, man, there's so many. There's like this new game mode and this new game mode. And
or the graphics are better or the catching and stuff. Like Madden 10.
The mechanics change a little bit in ways that are better. So, and this is one of the things that makes me really sad, like, about the industry now. So I know you don't know anything about this, but Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering are both owned by the same company. Shut up.
Nerd.
Shut up. No, the both of these games are owned by the same company. They're owned by a company called Wizards of the Coast.
See, they're making a movie. You gonna go see it?
Probably not. If I'm going to be honest, because I don't want to support any of their side projects because I really don't like what they're doing with the thing that I actually enjoy that they have, which is Magic and Dungeons and Dragons. But I don't know. I have to really think about my position because it might be the case that I need to kind of support the movie in order to get them to stop.
Good. I'm not gonna lie.
I doubt it. If I'm honest, I absolutely expect it to be hot garbage. But
hey, bro,
listen. Okay, I got really low expectations. I want to go in and be pleasantly surprised. So I think it's gonna be dumpster juice. And then if it's not dumpster juice, then I'll be happy.
Okay, we're not gonna use that term anymore. It's gross.
The term dumpster juice?
Yes, it's disgusting.
You want me to stop saying it?
Yes. So
sorry. Anyway, back to my point.
Okay, go ahead.
So Wizards of the Coast is basically, they're owned by Hasbro. Hasbro was bought out a few years ago by like some kind of venture capital or private equity company or something of that nature. And over the last like 5 to 10 years, they've been getting squeezed, kind of doing the same thing that like Bain Capital did back in the day, where they get bought out by a company and the company's like, all right, we took out loans to buy you. How are you going to pay us back?
Was the company Wayne Enterprises?
No. Oh. I wish. Maybe
Wayne. You said it was what company?
It was, I don't know what company bought them out.
Bain who?
Bain Capital. But that's
got bought out by Wayne.
Shut. You are so dumb. No, yes, I got your Batman joke. Get out of here. No,
no, I'm kidding.
But I don't know who actually bought out Hasbro. I just know that they're being kind of squeezed right now to make more money. So what they're doing to Magic the Gathering, I don't. You wouldn't have heard about this, but basically,
not at all.
It's a trading card game.
I know what it is. I know what Magic the Gathering is.
Okay, so generally for like a pack of cards, it's like $5, right? So if you buy a box of packs, it's somewhere in the realm. You get like, I can't remember exactly. I think you get like 60 packs, 50 packs, something like that. But you pay like $200 for like a box of maybe 40, 50, 60 packs of cards, right? So that equals like 1,000 playable tournament legal cards that you can build a deck with and then take to a tournament and maybe win some money, maybe win some, accolades, whatever. But you can play them at your local game shop or in a game or whatever. So the 30th anniversary edition was last year's like big pet project for Hasbro. And what they announced that they were doing is, hey, we're going to re-release cards that we put on the reserve list. The reserve list is a list of cards that they said we will never print again because they're too powerful for the game. They actually break the game the way it's being played right now. So we won't ever reprint these cards.
They're cheat codes.
Kinda, but they're also cards that are so expensive that if you're a collector, if like you got a Black Lotus back in the day and now you have one, it's worth like 30 grand. I know, but they're not gonna 30 grand. $30,000
for the non-nerds out there. That's a lot of money.
Shut up! I don't think a nerd is the only one who's gonna be able to understand the value of 30 grand.
There's a lot of people listening to this that have no idea what you're talking about.
You're right, but just know it's a piece of cardboard that's worth a lot of money as long as they don't ever reprint it. Okay,
but
so
they're gonna reprint it.
Well, no, technically they're gonna reprint it, but they're not gonna print a legal version. It's just gonna be a proxy. But the kicker was, wait, because it gets worse. The kicker was they're gonna reprint it, and you only get 4 packs for $999, and it's
Magic
totally
the Gathering cards.
You get 4 packs of cards for $999, and it's totally randomized. So you don't know what cards you're getting in these 4 packs. So you might get $10 worth of unplayable, non-tournament legal cards that are where you were told we're not going to get reprinted.
That sounds like hot garbage.
And suffice it to say, it was hot garbage. So, of course, the community does what the community does. They railed against it. Everybody made videos about how terrible this was and blah, blah, blah. Nobody bought the product, or at least, the indication is that nobody bought the product. The company's doing what companies do, and they're kind of shoving it under the rug. Yeah, kind of saying, oh, well, it was a success, and then just not ever talking about it again. Well, now D&D is the other property that Wizards of the Coast owns. I'm going to bring this back to the video games.
I hope so.
It's a really long detour. I'm sorry.
No, I'm still late.
So, shut up. So D&D, they operate under what's called an open use license, where anybody who plays D&D can make a D&D campaign and sell it. So you have like big YouTube channels and big groups that basically make D&D content where they go in, they create a whole campaign. Your DM does a whole bunch of homebrewing. He studies up all these different mythologies or whatever, and then he builds a whole campaign around whatever. And then he and his friends play this game on camera, and then they sell the campaign as like a thing that you can buy and play with your own friends. That's like a lot of people have these sorts of things set up, and you can do that. There's no copyright, nothing. You just kind of build off the back of D&D. It would be like making your own Monopoly game, basically, right? So since its inception, D&D has had this open license that everybody can do this. Well, this year they are changing the open use license to say, hey, you can do it, but if you make over X amount of dollars, I think the number is like $750,000, which seems like a lot of money, then we get a 10% cut. But we can change this license basically for any reason at any time at our discretion. So if you make less than $750,000, we can still tell you got to give us a cut. And we can decide what that cut is. 50%, 20%.
Doing what? Like recording and playing on YouTube?
If you make a property that's based on D&D. So like, let's say I'm a DM and I'm recording videos of me and my friends playing D&D.
You're what?
I'm a DM, a dungeon master. I feel like you're just making me say these things so you can make
fun of me. I didn't know what you meant. I thought you meant drum major. Like I'm asking.
I hate you so much.
You're a dungeon master.
A dungeon master.
And
yes.
So I'm sure this is not a sexual thing.
It's not a sexual
thing.
Okay.
I know. I'm just asking. Okay. No, I'm listening. So tell me more about you playing on hard mode and grinding in your dungeon, master. Go ahead.
I hate you so much right now. I just want you to know I hate you so much. Okay, I took this long detour.
No, I'm listening.
I'm sure you are.
Tell me about your dungeon.
Shut up.
What do you do? What do you do to the other people in there, though? Like, what do you do?
Okay, so honestly, all you're doing is you develop a game. So you make a story, and then you figure out, okay,
these like they did in what's the name of that show?
Yes, in Stranger Things. It's literally that. They were playing Dungeons and Dragons. That game, so you can make custom campaigns where you decide, okay, I want this to be based on, let's say, Norse mythology. So I'm going to get a bunch of gods that are going to be introduced. I'm going to take some Norse creatures and some Norse monsters.
You really don't watch John Adarola?
No.
This is like all he talks about.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. But like I can't like I don't nerd out about Dungeons and Dragons like I nerd out about other things. Justice is actually really
No,
into
he's
Dungeons
really
and
into
Dragons.
Magic the Gathering. And
Magic the Gathering is awesome, and I actually bonded about that. Like I don't know.
Justice is into that stuff too.
She's into Dungeons and Dragons specifically. I'm into Magic the Gathering.
That is so cool that
Isn't
you guys like that because
It's
like,
awesome.
me
I
and
love my
Julia
life.
like traveling.
Yeah.
And
We
Sushi.
have like I married my wife because she's the sort of person that like we can nerd out about certain stuff together. So
we nerd out about certain things, like for example,
true Marvel movies, comic book stuff.
No.
What you mean no?
Halia be asleep. She was asleep when we saw.
Oh, you and Halia. I thought you
Avengers
meant me
game.
and you.
Oh no, me and you nerd out about lots of things.
True. That's the
Definitely
whole
Marvel
conversation.
movies. Did you see the new Quantumania trailer?
No. I
With
stopped
King
watching.
the Conqueror?
I'm gonna be honest. I just can't even like get excited about trailers no more because I've seen so many trailers of movies that never came out. I'm still waiting on a Nova movie that never came
Nova?
out. Nova, yeah,
Oh, from Marvel?
yeah,
No, that's still gonna come out.
maybe
They didn't say it was supposed to be released yet, Elliot.
it was supposed to come out in like phase 3.
No.
Yes,
no.
bro. I'm telling you. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm
No, it's not supposed to
misremembering.
be out yet,
I
bro.
remember them announcing it in like phase 3 that it was supposed to come out in phase 3 and it didn't.
Well, they had the Nova Core, which Thanos like bodied,
Yeah, he did.
but
like they were a
anyway,
non-factor.
The point is,
Anyway, my
What?
point of
back to
making
what
that
you're saying.
yeah, my
Your
whole
diatribe.
the whole reason I made that long detour around the world was to say what Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast is doing right now is what a lot of video game manufacturers have done. So I've seen a
It's
lot
not just video game manufacturers.
Well,
it's companies in general. They
that-
make their products and things worse and more expensive, and they ruin everything for everybody.
I think that's true, but I think in particular the reason it feels more acute with games in particular is the point of the game is supposed to be the amount of fun and joy that it brings to the consumers. That's why people buy games.
That's
Hey,
the point for
this
you.
is
The point for them is to make
okay.
that paper.
But if you understand why people buy your product, then you can innovate in that direction. How can we make this more enjoyable? How can we make this more fun for the person? The problem that I think a lot of video game manufacturers have right now is they're run by people who are like, okay, how can we squeeze more money out of these schlubs who are playing these games?
Well, to be honest, they have the same problem that DCEU has.
100%.
They're ran by people that don't play the game
and
or
don't
watch
understand
the movie. Like they don't care.
Yeah, well, and they don't understand why people like these
Yeah.
things. So they're just like, I mean, I don't
Well,
get
that's-
it. So we're just gonna make whatever.
Stuff that's
They'll pay for
entertainment
it.
based like that. You have to have people that have a vested interest in it being good, not a vested interest in it making money. Because yes,
True.
you're gonna
Oh
have
my
people
God.
there that wanted to make money,
You are
right?
preaching. Yeah.
So, like for example, I'll give you a good example. The original Spider-Man series with
Mhm.
Tobey Maguire, right? So the guy that made the movies, right?
Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi, yes, the guy that he did that last Doctor Strange movie.
Mhm.
But you can tell how much he likes Spider-Man.
Yeah, and how
You can
much
tell, like how much he cares about Spider-Man being right.
and cared about it being as close as his vision could be to the original.
Right.
Because
I mean,
obviously he's gonna take his artistic liberties. See Spider-Man 3 and the whole dancing scene that has
well,
been
the
memed
thing was
forever.
he didn't like Spider-Man 3, and he also felt like they kind of shoved Venom down his throat, and he like there was a lot of issues with it. If you ever watched I'm super into this. If you ever watched the interviews with Sam Raimi talking about what destroyed Spider-Man 3 for him, and why he, that Spider-Man 4 was commissioned, like they were starting.
Yeah, and he was like, I'm not doing it.
Everything, and he was like, no.
Well, and
because he felt like he ruined Spider-Man 3.
Well, and I understand why.
They
because
really should have saved Venom. They could have done so much with Venom if they would have done him correctly.
Not only should they have saved Venom, I think they didn't need a Venom in that movie. They had all of the components to make that a great movie with all of the other things that were going on.
Well, the thing was, again, the problem happened was he said Venom was not part of the movie. The studio basically said, hey, we make a lot of money off of Venom. We want Venom in the movie. And he's like, I mean, didn't Venom feel just slapped in there?
So
because Sandman made sense. They connected that to Uncle Ben, right?
Yeah.
You had the stuff with Harry.
Yeah.
That made sense because it was like kind of a finishing of his clear anger, him finding out from his butler, like Bernard, hey, Spider-Man didn't kill your father, he killed himself.
And here's the
Venom
crazy
was
part.
Just there.
From Spider-Man 2 to Spider-Man 3, they honestly set it up perfectly to do is it the Sinister Six or is it?
Yes, the Sinister Six is his villain group.
Yeah. They set it up perfectly to do that villain group in that movie. Or minimally to
I hate that. That's back when they
introduce
used
all the
to. You'd
characters.
have a villain and they die at the end of the movie. So stupid. See, a
This
lot
is
of
a
people get
Hollywood
mad at the
problem.
new Marvel movies because it feels like there's no stakes. But the problem with killing off all the villains immediately is you never get to do anything with them.
Well, no.
And so
the
that's the part that sucks.
Yeah, but the reason that the movies in Marvel I feel like have no stakes is because
There
they
really
have
aren't any stakes.
they don't, and they have a formula that they follow to their detriment.
Yeah,
Because man, so how did you feel about the Doctor Strange movie? You seen it, right?
Yeah.
How did you feel about it? What did you think?
If I can keep it real with you, I was a little disappointed.
I was a little disappointed too.
I was disappointed because, one, Doctor Strange to be such a big character with such gigantic powers and gigantic story, I felt like that big old movie that they hyped up wasn't really about anything. Like, honestly, this movie was, she missed her children and she wanted to have her kids, and he's like, no. Like, I feel like he didn't have a major villain that is fighting a major fight. He's fighting her because she's just sad about her kids. It's like the stakes were so small. It's like, I understand she was doing evil things. I got it. But like, my point is, okay, think about all the other Marvel movies before it, right? They're fighting, trying to stop Thanos, who's trying to kill half the universe.
Yeah.
Right now, you got King the Conqueror coming in, right? Who he's stuck in the quantum universe, and so he basically trapped.
So he's trying to break the universe,
he's trying to get out.
He can get out. Yeah.
Like I think he was trapped there because he was killing people. In the Great War that you learned about in the Loki series. Did you watch that?
Yeah.
Okay, but like in the Doctor Strange movie, it's just, oh, I miss my children. So I miss my children. It's like, bro, like,
here's the problem with what I think with what you're saying. Okay, I think that there is a alternate universe where they tweak her story just a little bit, and it makes the stakes it actually makes like the actions that she's taking make more sense, because even in the context of the movie, what she's doing doesn't make any sense. Like, you're gonna go kill yourself and be the mom for these kids that know you're not actually their mom because their mom didn't have magic powers.
that made no sense.
Like, it doesn't really make sense in the context of the universe of the movie, especially if this is a lady who is post all of the craziness that she did in her own show, in the Wanda show. So like, she obviously didn't learn a single thing in that show. It just erased all of the lessons that she supposedly learned from her interactions with the black lady from the Wanda show. So like, all they had to do was make a slight tweak where the Wanda that's doing all this stuff is a Wanda from a different universe than our standard Marvel universe Wanda. And like, they don't tell you that it's Wanda that's the big bad villain. They just keep implying that somebody is doing all of this stuff. And then you get the big reveal near the end that it's Wanda. And then you find out, oh, it's a multiverse Wanda, because they've been hopping through multiverses the whole
she's
time.
Supposedly good.
So in our universe's Wanda steps in and says, hey, this isn't the right way. I already went through this. We lost our child. And like, you have this big reconcile moment. And then even if the stakes are kind of smaller because we're really just dealing with one super powerful individual basically fighting themselves, you really have a genuine story that one is slightly different than the other stories. It gives you a little bit more depth of the character. It actually makes you feel more attached to this Wanda character, and you don't lose Wanda in the series, but that like, they just really like killing off people in these Marvel movies for some reason. So it does. It's not
a good character.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of sad about Iron Man and obviously, you know how I feel about Black Panther being gone. Like,
listen,
I'm actually like, that messed me up a little bit.
It is really
Chadwick
sad.
is just such a good guy, and that's the part that just makes me sad because Trump is still here terrorizing the planet. But
also, I guess we should say spoiler alert, since
for what?
We're just spoiling Marvel movies at the moment.
These are old movies, and everyone knows that
right,
Chadwick Boseman died. He's not still in the Black Panther.
Well,
movie.
yes, obviously. No, I'm talking about
Iron Man.
No, the other one that we were talking about.
Oh, WandaVision.
I mean that too, but no, I'm talking about Doctor Strange movie.
Oh, that movie's old too. Oh.
True, it's all old, to be honest. I mean, even the Black Panther movie is old at this point. But I'm still I'm gonna try not to spoil it because I still gotta convince Justice to go see it.
You haven't seen it?
I saw it with you.
Oh,
Justice wasn't there. Yeah, she had to work.
You did see it with me. It was awesome.
It was great. Have you seen the Avatar movie? The new one?
I'm not sitting through that.
I'm gonna be honest. I kind of want to see it because I keep hearing really good things about it.
It's too long. Not watching it.
Bro, you sat through both Infinity Wars.
I know. They were awesome. I'd do it again.
Stop. Boy, if you want to go watch this movie,
I'm not watching it.
you
It's
should
too
watch
long,
it,
bro. I need like a week and a half.
It's too long. You need a week and a half to watch a 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah, it's
Get
not
outta
2.5 hours. It's
Get
3.5
out of
hours.
here. It's not that bad.
4 hours, maybe 5.
Listen.
So, all
right.
Let's talk about. We're gonna change it up here.
All right.
When you are.
Uh-oh.
No. Then we have a discussion about our. We had one time I think we talked about our favorite ice creams. Let's revisit that for a second.
Okay.
Favorite ice cream?
I don't know what I said the last time. I think I said Rocky Road. That's
Subpar.
probably not true.
Subpar.
That's probably not true right now. Honestly, it's hard for me to say because what I really like is ice cream. Ooh, actually, my favorite ice cream. There's a Carolina Gators ice cream that I ate years ago that I can't find anymore. That ice cream was really good. It'd probably be like maybe number 2, maybe number 1. I can't tell. But there is this.
You're doing really bad at this.
I'm gonna say pause because I don't want you to start laughing as soon as I say the name of this ice cream, but I know you're going to because you're a child.
What is
it's
it?
called Fluffernutter. I knew you were gonna.
You laugh too, so I don't want to hear it.
Because
I
knew
tell
you
me
was gonna
about
start laughing. I was gonna
What's
say
in it?
Fluffernutter, and it's just peanut butter ice cream, but it's so good, bro.
Okay, sure.
It's peanut butter ice cream. It's like peanut butter flavored, but they
Which
like
one of those two verbs in the title happened first?
Did they fluff or did? Never mind. Stop it, bro. What are you doing?
All right,
we are
cool.
totally getting demonetized. Okay, so my peanut butter ice cream is probably my favorite. What's your favorite ice cream?
Cookies and cream. No question.
Cookies and cream is good ice cream.
Delicious. Second is strawberry. I kind of like I like ice cream with cookies.
You know what?
Though.
Okay.
I like ice cream with cookies in it. Strawberry is just my backup. Like, let's say you go somewhere and they don't have cookies.
Your
and
second
cream.
favorite ice cream is strawberry ice cream?
No, I said strawberry is my backup. I said that my second favorite is stuff with cookies in it. So you've got the
So it's your third favorite. So if you're ranking, if you give me top 3, 1 is cookies and cream.
2 would be like if you can get something that has like Twix in it or
so like a Cold Stone mix in whatever.
Yeah, like stuff with cookie in it.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then third is strawberry.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
If because basically at that point all the ice creams start to kind of run together.
Okay.
Like they got the cookie and brownie.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
It's all kind of, and it is all kind of same.
It all starts running together at a certain point.
No.
So after that, let's say you go to a place and all they got is literally strawberry, vanilla, chocolate. Like, I'm going to go vanilla first. I mean, strawberry first. Fresh vanilla is delicious, but
you call it strawberry first? That's wow.
Yeah, I don't really like chocolate ice cream like that.
Wow. That's
not really
that's a hot take right there. Nah, I actually have to change my list because I forgot about my actual favorite ice cream. So, have you ever been to Brewster's?
No.
Okay.
What is it? Hit me with it.
Brewster's is an ice cream place. We have one in Virginia Beach, but I think they have them.
No, I know what Brewster's is.
Okay. It's their cotton candy explosion ice cream. Bro.
I'm sorry.
I don't think you are.
I'm sorry.
You don't see it.
No, Julio loves cotton candy ice cream. Ain't nobody exploding. But
oh my god,
Julio loves cotton candy ice cream.
It's not okay. Justice also loves cotton candy, but she likes cotton candy flavor. But no, it's not.
No, she loves cotton candy ice cream and cotton candy. I personally am not really.
Justice likes anything cotton candy flavored, but it's not the ice cream that I like. It comes with like these pop rocks, but they're not pop rocks. I don't even know how to describe what they are. They're like candies. They're like candy coated pop rocks. That's probably the best way I can describe them. And they're cotton candy flavored, and they're in the cotton candy ice cream, and it's just really good.
I'm glad we're on a diet because
me too, bro. Because it's making it like it's just making me hungry.
Next.
You brought it up.
No, I know, but I'm going next. Have you been to the Sweet Spot?
Sweet Spot.
Yeah, it's in Virginia Beach. There's 2 of them now, actually.
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm pretty sure you've seen those fancy ice cream places
where
you go and like they'll have like the cup with the frosting on the top, and like inside will be like a giant Oreo, or like it'll be a cone in there, and it'll have like they got like a bunch of flavors.
Nah, I don't
and
think
there's stuff on the side of the jar, like there'll be frosting on the jar with like chocolate chips on it. You haven't been to the Sweet Spot?
No. Why?
Oh yeah.
What? Why is it a requirement
We're
of
on a
life?
diet, so we can't really eat
That's
that.
what I'm saying.
Like,
I'm trying to do better.
So I'm going to tell you about
like,
the Sweet Spot. I'm going to tell you about the Sweet Spot.
Why?
Because it's delicious.
We just left the gym.
We did both just go to the gym with our wives. It was awesome.
It was.
But no,
trying to do
seriously, the Sweet Spot.
Okay.
You go there. It's actually really expensive now. It's like $16 or something for the
all the more
you get the jar, and you take the jar back. They'll give you a discount. But like, no, I'm serious. You take the jar back. they'll give you a discount when you get your next ice cream. It's like a souvenir cup. It's a big cup. It's nice. It's good. But usually I'll get the Oreo thing. It has 2 freaking churros in it, an Oreo, and then it's like cookies and cream ice cream.
Sounds like the most
with
unhealthy
frosting.
thing ever.
Huh?
This sounds like the most unhealthy thing ever.
No, this is terrible for you. It's destroying your insides, Elliot.
Okay.
But what I'm telling you, I don't know if you know how much I like churros. I don't know. But it's 2
I don't. We never
churros in
talked
there,
about
bro.
that. I didn't think you liked churros.
Churros are delicious. I like anything with cinnamon brown sugar on it. I don't care what it is.
Listen.
I'll eat it on buttered toast. It's delicious.
That'd be weird. But I'm gonna be honest, churros are like one of the best like fried
Dessert?
snacks.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
Well, no. So last time I went, because like I said, so Halil gets mad at me sometimes because I really don't try new stuff. Like, I know the things that I like, and I'm just going to keep ordering that.
Yeah.
Right? So every time we go, she gets something different.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. But me, I always get the Oreo thing with the churros because I love that.
I don't see
Because I love Oreo. I love cookies and cream ice cream. You know that.
Listen, you're
But I love
confident
cinnamon sugar.
that you understand what things you like when you go to the sweet spot.
No, but I messed around and got something different last
What'd you
time.
get?
I got this Cinnabon flavored thing
you messed
situation.
up.
No,
Oh, you messed
bro, it was delicious.
No, I mean you messed up because it was delicious.
Bro, it's a giant cinnamon roll on top of the ice cream. Elliot, it was hot.
You are ruining my.
I don't know about giant.
Because you know what's gonna happen, right? My wife
go.
is gonna watch this podcast episode, and then she's gonna tell me, "Oh, you gotta take me to this place."
You know what's crazy is I can't say sweet spot around Halia and we not go, or she for real will pout like a little kid. I'm not playing.
This is all your fault.
I'm not joking.
Why
with
you
you.
even bring this up?
Because I'm surprised you haven't heard of it. It's so good.
No, okay. Me and my wife generally
I
are
don't go
homebodies.
anywhere,
Yeah,
though.
we don't go places for real. And like, I'm working on that. I'm trying to change that. But neither of us, we
haven't been on like a double date situation.
True. And we had the pandemic and all of that. So yeah. So like,
I really wish I could take you guys to Baltimore so we could go to this crab cake place.
My wife has a shellfish allergy, and I don't like crab cakes.
I forgot. I'm sorry. Your wife has a shellfish allergy.
I'm like,
I'm sorry. I forgot.
This is like not. This is not a place you're taking me. We're not. We are allergic to shellfish.
I'm sorry. I forgot. I'm sorry. No,
you forgot.
Elliot,
what?
It is the best seafood ever. Like, okay, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
So me and Halil went to that Broncos and Ravens game a couple weeks ago, right? And when we went to the game, of course, we wanted to go to. I wanted to go to our place, but he's like, "Well, we go there every time.
We should go somewhere different."
Yeah, so we went somewhere different. It cost way more money.
Of course it did, and it wasn't as good.
No, it was more mashed potatoes in that meal, and we had crab cake egg rolls. Were very good.
Is that a measurement? Like you go to the store and be like, "Y'all, this is like 1 ounce of mashed potatoes. I need like a whole another."
Well,
ounce.
No, it was like a high school lunch scoop at the place. We
like an ice cream scoop.
Yeah,
mashed potatoes.
Like the thing is,
oh no,
the crab cakes. I get the crab cake and it's on top of a jumbo shrimp. And so so we went to a new place. It was these small crab cakes, like they were about this big, on top of the shrimp.
Oh no!
I was like, it was just, to me, it wasn't enough food for it to cost that much. Now, was it good?
Control.
Sure, it was fine. Okay, it was fine. But when we went to the Bobby Brown concert 2 weeks ago, we went to our place again. So I was like, look, when we get out this concert, it's gonna be like 1 o'clock in the morning. Halil. We gotta eat food before we get to the concert.
Of course.
So we picked up dinner, left it, went to the concert, got out of the concert. Bro, the food was so good. Oh my gosh! And I forgot. First of all, they got the same thing. You can get 1, 2, or 3. The new place we went to didn't offer you that. It was like $65. You get the 3.
Jeez.
This place, it offers you 1 for like, I don't know, $20, 2 for like 40, and then 3 for like, I don't know, however much. So I think it's like 65 for 3. But the crab cakes are like this big on top of that jumbo shrimp.
Jeez.
And so I got 2, and I was like, man, I forgot how good this place was.
Really? You just forgot?
No, I'm telling you, Elliot. When I took Aaliyah to Baltimore for her birthday in like 2020 or 2019, whichever year it was, like we went to a different crab cake place called Emperor C. And that place was super expensive, nowhere near as good. The place we go to, I think it's called like G&M Restaurant. It's in Baltimore. If you haven't been there, you need to go. It's the best crab cake in the country.
That's the spot, huh? What did you say it was?
It's G&R or G&M Restaurant. That's what it's called.
I swear, you be finding the most hole in the wall spots to go to.
No, it wasn't a hole in the wall at all.
I mean, you're right. I was gonna say I've never heard of it, but that's like not even a ruler. That's like a non-factor.
G&M
It does not
restaurant.
matter.
That's what it's called.
G&M restaurant.
Restaurant and lounge.
Well,
It
look at that.
You can't go there because of your wife's seafood allergy.
True,
But
Elliot, our seafood allergy. We're allergic to seafood.
You're not allergic to seafood. Okay.
We
well,
are
okay. You can be allergic. That's fine.
There you go.
I'm not even entertaining it. What I do know is
I think you're very entertaining.
if I ever could take you to Baltimore so you could taste it, Elliot, I'm trying to tell you, it's the best crab cake
I
ever.
don't like crab cake.
I understand what you're saying.
I don't think you are.
But it's the best. It's the best. Because like it's just the flavor, like, and they're benevolent enough to post their recipe online. So a couple of months ago, I made Miss Angie and Granddad and me and Halea some crab cakes at his house.
Yeah,
we had crab cakes for
Really
dinner
good.
over there.
Here's the thing.
Get the
They're
Worcestershire
like, hey,
sauce.
we'll give y'all the recipe because y'all can't make it like we do.
Yeah, it's
not
not
the
as
same.
good, but
No.
it was very good.
I believe that.
Very good. I chopped up fine vegetables and everything. It was delicious, but nah, because we had it after that Bobby Brown concert, Elliot. It was cold. We put it in the microwave. It was just as good as it was fresh.
That's wild.
It was so good. Anyway, okay, all right.
We gonna
Let's
stop
get
talking
off
about
of it.
food
Let's
now?
get off of it.
Okay.
We're getting off of it.
All right.
As you can tell, I love to eat. So,
Clearly, we both do. It's a problem.
okay.
All right. I guess the last thing we'll talk about. We're trying to stay away from it, but I really do want to talk a little bit, just a little bit, just a little teensy bit about a couple of things. So one, I was not aware of all of the rules that got pushed through. So Kevin McCarthy is now the speaker. He finally won the long fight. And some of the concessions that they made, I think, are going to make for some really interesting politics over the next 2 years. So hold on, let me see if I can pull up a list of all of them.
That's what I was about to do.
All right, yeah, you pull up the list.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm interested to see because he seems a little weaker than the average Republican leader.
He not only is he weaker, I think the concessions that he made are actually going to make. They're going to make the House of, what am I trying to say? The House of Representatives a lot more active, I think, because one of the rules, the one that I'm most interested in seeing how it gets applied and how it actually plays out, is they can no longer offer amendments and riders on bills. Every bill has to be a clean bill. Every bill has to be a single issue bill. So if they're voting on something, that was a concession. Supposedly. Now I need to triple check my facts, but my understanding is that was one of the concessions that was made, is every bill that's proposed has to be a single issue clean bill. No more of this like, hey, we're just going to tack on a bunch of garbage to a bill to make it so that one, we either can't get a clean up down vote on it, or two, nobody actually votes on like the bill that's being proposed. They're voting on all of these bits that have been added or changed or adjusted to the bill, and we can't actually get things passed that are reasonable because they have all this garbage attached to them. I think that's going to be really interesting. And then
this says a single rank and file. What does it say? A single rank and file member from either party will now be able to force a vote on ousting the House Speaker. Up to now, at least half of the House Republicans need to support the motion to trigger a vote. There are still some guardrails when a member introduces such a resolution. The House still has the power to delay it for a short period of time or choose to refer it to a committee.
Oh, wow.
Far-right Republicans get highly coveted committee assignments. The far-right Republicans holding out against McCarthy's speakership push for more seats on powerful committees.
That is something that I kind of don't like, because I don't know if you've heard about some of the people that have already been booted, but they booted like Ilhan Omar and Eric Swalwell and a couple others.
Yeah, this is another one.
Off of their
seats.
Yeah. And I really don't like that. And I know I was championing Matt Gaetz, basically being like, I don't like Kevin McCarthy, so I'm not going to let him get the speaker. I'm not going to vote for him. And I do think that that's cool or whatever, but I kind of, like, it leaves a really bad taste in my mouth, the way that people treat Ilhan Omar, because they never engage with her ideas. It's always these weird ad homs about how she's anti-Semitic. And then they use all of these people who are basically ad homing her as anti-Semitic as evidence that she's anti-Semitic, but they never actually talk about what she said or done that's actually anti-Semitic. And when you run it down far enough, you find out what she said had nothing to do with Jewish people, and it's always stuff to do with Israel or like the
APAC.
PACs, the PACs that
Yeah.
support Israel. And I think that's really something about that.
Well, that's the thing, Elliot. You know,
it
that's
really
the point.
bothers me, bro.
They don't care.
I
the
know.
people that are smearing her saying she's anti-Semitic don't actually care.
Yeah,
To be honest with you, they support people that are other Republicans that are anti-Semitic. Like, no, she's a Muslim.
Yeah, and they don't
like her.
Yeah.
So
I mean, she single-handedly got them to let people wear head coverings in Congress, and they really didn't like that.
Yeah, it's kind of wild, like how pissed off they were. People
also
are swearing in on a Quran. It's like, dude.
Also, hold on. I'm pretty sure our literal constitution says that our government does not respect any particular religion. So
that's
why?
Not what Lauren Boebert thinks.
Apparently not. We're a Christian country to her. But nah, man, it puts a really bad taste in my mouth because I think it's just fundamentally anti-American the way that they go about treating her. And it really does bother me.
It bothers me too. I told you Ilhan is like one of my favorites because she withstands it. Like, they try to primary them every time,
and she wins every time.
There's no support from Democratic leadership.
Yeah,
and no, they still like Rashida Tlaib. And which one was the one that almost lost last time? I think it was Ilhan.
It was Ilhan. Her race was closer. Rashida Tlaib's
Marie Newman lost. She was a Justice Democrat that lost.
Oh, was she?
Yeah.
Mm.
So
did you hear that Katie Porter's running for Senate?
I did hear Katie
How
Porter's running for Senate. That's awesome.
Get Dianne Feinstein out of here.
Yeah, I hope she drops out, but she's probably not going to because she doesn't know
a bajillion years
where
old.
she is.
She's probably lost right now.
Yeah, she might be like.
She's that meme. Who is it? Is it I know what movie it's from. It's from a Tarantino flick, but I can't think of the guy's name offhand. Where he's just like looking around, like
lost.
Yes, yeah. Like what's going on, guys?
She's literally over 90. Like she's like 1,000 years old.
Yeah,
go away.
She is a bajillion years old.
Go away.
Honestly,
and you're from California. It's supposed to be one of the most liberal states, and she's literally like a conservative Democrat holding up progress. Okay. Get out of the way.
Okay, I want your honest opinion on this because maybe it's ageist and maybe like it wouldn't be right. If we have a minimum age for presidency, why do we not have a maximum age for government service? Point blank. Period. Because 80 feels like it's Bernie's over 80, I think now, or he'll be
78 or something like that.
Yeah, I think 80 is pretty much as old as you can be to work anywhere. I don't think you should be working after you're 80 years old.
I don't know, because I guess the reason why I don't know about that, I do understand it, and people talk about term limits and they want younger presidents. I get it, but at the same time, I don't like the idea of telling a person like Bernie that is able-bodied and is doing good work, we don't care because you're too old.
Okay, well,
like I feel like there should be some type of
but let me try and
I do get it.
Hold on, okay, because by that logic, there should not be a 35-year minimum age for presidency. You're too young, so you can't do the job, no matter how intelligent or informed or well advised you are.
Well, I think that the idea of that is more so about ensuring that the country tries to get somebody within the bounds of experience.
Okay,
hold on. You elect a 28-year-old for president. Not that they couldn't do it, but I do understand the rationale behind, hey, maybe we should get somebody that's at least in their mid-30s.
Well, I don't. I
would even be able to be talked into lowering the age if that's the conversation.
No.
But do I think that a person that's 20 should be able to be elected president? No.
Okay, here's my problem.
I just don't think you're mentally mature enough to do that job at that age.
You're not saying that there is no world where there is anyone who would be mentally mature enough. You're saying on balance, in
average,
general, the majority of people under the age of 35 probably would do a bad job of president. I'm saying that exact same logic, what you just laid out there, applies to 80-year-olds. Yeah, the vast majority of 80-year-olds can't walk. They can't speak a lot of times. They can't think a lot of times. They don't make good decisions.
So do you think it should be like some type of testing situation, or you think it should be a blanket?
It should be
like
a hard
35?
There should be a hard 35 to 80. I think 80 is probably reasonable. Like, I feel like 70 might be a little young because there are genuinely 70-year-olds who, while I think they're kind of old, I think 70 is probably too old. But, like, I could see an argument for, because if you have a Bernie, if you have all of these people in Congress who are at least I don't know, they're cogent enough to be able to understand what's being said and understand policy and make policy. Like, I could kind of see it. So, like, 80 is like the farthest bound of what I think most people would agree. If you're over 80, bro, you should not be working anywhere. You should be retiring and just trying to enjoy however many years you got left. Because maximally, you're going to have 40 years left in your life. We haven't. The Bible says you only live to 120, but I think the oldest person was like 110, 115, something like that. So, like, it's very rare that you're going to have somebody who lives to be over like 105. So I feel like if you're over 80, you need to enjoy the last 20 plus, 20 or so years of your life that you're going to have left. You should not be working, and you certainly shouldn't be running the most powerful country in the world. I don't think.
No, I get it. I get it.
I don't think it's a good idea to give that much power to somebody who's
still holding out hope that Bernie's going to run for president in 2024.
Of course. I mean, and nobody's going to pass this law in the next 2 years. I doubt it.
Do you think he's going to run for president in the next 2 years? I saw a report today that said that his camp was asking Ro Khanna to do it. Terrible idea.
Actually,
I love Ro Khanna. I do not think that the country would elect him just because he's...
Actually.
You think they would?
Actually.
I just don't.
I think...
I would love for Ro Khanna to be president.
It depends on the campaign he runs. And this is why I say that, okay? If Ro Khanna continues to do what he's doing right now, I actually have a clip. I'm not going to pull it up right now, but he basically talked to Brianna Joy Gray, and he talked to Ryan Grimm. He talked about the Brianna Joy Gray conversation, but he talked to Ryan Grimm as well, and Ryan kind of pressed him the same way, kind of asked him the same question. Hey, about this I keep saying stop the steal, about this forced vote thing. Do you look at the way that the couple of holdouts in the Republican Party were able to really force concessions through and get some of their demands met, just by, kind of holding out until like they got their concessions? Do you see anything in that you guys could maybe use going forward in the future? And he absolutely refused to say, yeah, actually, I think we made a tactical error or a tactical miscalculation in the past, and I think we are definitely going to look at being a little more hardline. Like, that's all he had to say. Well, he didn't even necessarily have to admit that they were wrong. He could have just said, well, I don't think we were wrong because we had genuinely legitimate decision we had legitimate reasons for making the decision that we did. But I think the climate that we're in now is fundamentally different. I think we have even more power than maybe we had in the past. And I think going forward, we might be a little more inclined to really press the Democratic leadership and get some more concessions out of them the next time we have the opportunity to do that. But he doesn't want to say that because he's trying to play ball with Hakeem Jeffries right now. And
they all are. And that's pissing everybody off.
And that's what's... The Democratic Party is going to keep being the same party unless we get these sorts of thinking people out of power. So, like, your Ro Khannas, your Rashida Tlaibs, they do the same thing. They see these people over and over again, and then eventually they're just like, this is how the game is played.
So I saw, and we'll end on this, but I saw yesterday they were talking about that specific thing on TYT, and basically the thing that, I don't know if it's yesterday, it might be the day before, but Cenk was saying, like, the problem that he has with Jimmy Dore is the fact that, okay, he'll take the information you just pointed out and he'll immediately go nuclear and say, that means Ro Khanna is completely against you. He doesn't support Medicare for all, blah, blah, blah.
Which is way too far.
The point is, the squad, the Ro Khannas of the world, the Katie Porters of the world, they will do the right thing, but the reason that they're not doing it is because they don't have a leader right now. And I think there is a groupthink and establishment bias where it's like, if we play the game, Hakeem Jeffries won't screw us over. He'll help us. Well, we'll get some of what we're looking for. Instead, like what he was saying was, which I tend to agree with, if there was a Nina Turner in the house, if there was a strong, like...
He is, Cenk was saying.
To be honest with you, a Matt Gaetz in the house.
Cenk was saying this.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was saying, like, if there was some type of, like, controlled opposition where they could get together and do what Matt Gaetz is doing and say, look, hey, we're going to support you, Hakeem Jeffries, but that's literally what force the vote was. Like, but there is no, they're just aimless.
So the reason that they're aimless is intentional, though. And this is why.
You think so? The squad is intentional?
Yes. Okay. I want you to understand the reason that everybody lauds Nancy Pelosi as this great politician is not just because she was actually a good politician, because I think in general, she was a good politician for her actual constituents. So she divided and conquered the squad so perfectly that everybody looks at that as like a textbook example of how you make sure you never have dissent in your party.
Yeah, you keep people
because what she did was the squad was named the squad, and then she went to each individual member and she bought their silence and bought their capitulation. So she went to Ilhan Omar and she was like, hey, I see that people are treating you really unfair, and that sucks. I'm really sorry to hear that. So I'm going to make this bill and I'm going to put it up in the house so that you can wear your hair covering, because I really support you. And even though we don't always agree, I think it's really important that you get to exercise your faith, you know, as you see fit. And then she went to AOC and was like, listen, I know you're a firebrand. I know you're excited because you're new in the house and you got all these things you want to do, but you know, you really got to learn how things are done before you can go out and make changes. So I'm going to put you on this committee and I'm going to make sure that you get the mentoring you need so you can really understand how things are done. And then maybe after a year or two, you'll really be able to get some of these, you know, these things passed.
Yeah, no.
And
Nancy
then,
Pelosi was,
slid her to the side. And she did this with each and every squad member. That's why everybody's calling them the squad. They don't vote on anything in particular, like as a group that the rest of the Democratic Party isn't voting on. They don't propose things as a group that the rest of the Democratic
but
Party.
You don't think there's any?
They are a cheerleading team for the Democratic Party because Nancy Pelosi co-opted them in and gave them just enough rope so that they seem like they're separate, but they're not actually doing anything separate from the general mainstream of the party.
Right.
So when you, like, we had that big argument about Rashida Tlaib, and what I was trying to express then and what I still believe now
Tulsi?
is no, about Rashida Tlaib specifically, because you were like, oh, she was a leader, she had a really good vote.
Oh, you're not talking about you're talking about the lady from Seattle, Pramila
Jayapal?
Yeah. Rashida Tlaib is in
maybe you're right. Florida. Yeah, I think you're right. You were right. I was talking about Jayapal. I'm sorry. Yeah. I apologize. So we had the big argument about Pramila Jayapal, and my whole point then and now is if you're going to be a leader, you have to actually lead. You have to say, hey, I have these priorities, and these people all agree with me that these priorities are important. So I'm coming to you representing these people. Somebody has to be the person who stands in front and says, hey, I'm representing an actual problem or actual disagreement, an actual dichotomy that we have. And those things need to be addressed or rectified in one way or another. We agree with you on these other things, but we're not going to sacrifice our principles on these things.
I got you, but I think the main thing is with the House.
Yeah.
You know, I really would like to see. I wish that they did have some type of leadership structure. Like I remember,
you mean the Progressive Caucus?
Yeah. The actual squad. The Progressive Caucus is a joke. I mean, it was led by Pramila Jayapal and Hakeem Jeffries. Like it was a joke. They put Nina Turner's primary opponent in it. She's in the Progressive Caucus and she's in the New Democrats Caucus.
Yeah, but
it's a joke.
But so is the squad.
No, they're not in the New Democrats. No, the New Democrats is the
but they're in the Progressive Caucus, right?
Yeah.
So
that's my point. My point is like the Progressive Caucus just takes whoever, like people like Clyburn, like clowns. So anyway, we need to wrap. So we'll see what they do. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. No, I my hope is because of all of these new changes, we're gonna just see like some more historic things happening in legislation.
Republican activism in the House.
Listen,
it's gonna be crazy.
Just the fact that we have Republicans who are actually trying to govern the country genuinely is a wild situation to be in. Now,
I don't know about saying that they're trying to govern.
No,
I don't think they are.
Okay. As on the whole, the entirety, no, of course not. They're trying to do the same thing Democrats are trying to do.
Who are you talking about is trying to govern? Matt Gaetz?
Matt Gaetz specifically.
He's not trying to govern.
Wait a minute.
He has like 2 or 3. Like he got that anti-corruption bill, which is good.
Him and I can't believe I'm saying this. Marco Rubio. Sorry. Are genuinely, they're offering bills, they're participating.
No, Marco Rubio is a clown. He's the guy that has the paid family leave bill that basically is you borrowing against your Social Security.
Yes.
To get paid so that you can have a kid.
Hey,
now.
I already put this money in, but now I have to borrow against the money that I already put in.
So basically, you're not getting paid family leave.
Yeah.
You're paying
extra money.
Yeah, you're paying
to get
for your leave to have a kid now.
Yeah.
No, he's clowns.
Yeah.
Clowns. Jokes.
Well, okay. Garbage. I agree with you, but
Well, he did put up the bill for this daylight savings thing.
So, and my thing is
that died in the House.
That died in the House. But my point is, there are Republicans who seem to be genuinely interested in governing. Maybe governing poorly because they're not doing it based on evidence or science or reason, but they are interested in actually passing bills. They're not trying to do the thing where they just run out the clock. And I think that's going to be either.
That's why they always lose when they get into power.
That's why.
Because tax cuts.
And then they don't do anything else. They just spend their time trying to run out the clock and talk about how Democrats aren't letting them do anything.
Yeah. But somehow they always get the tax cut passed. Under Bush, under Trump.
Somehow they always find Democratic consensus enough to get their tax cuts.
Somehow.
Yeah. It's mysterious how
no matter what happens.
So, but anyway, look, this has been the Pencil Brothers Podcast. I'm Elliot.
This is Aaron.
And we are out.